Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being patient. Mr. Trejo is here, and it gives me a great pleasure to introduce the man who's spent 30 years now working in motion pictures, Mr. Danny Trejo.
Morning.
So 30 years you've been working in movies.
Yes, 1985.
Yeah.
First.
Runaway Train.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that was an accident.
I wanted to tell me, you got into it from Eddie Bunker.
Yeah.
When was the first time you met Eddie Bunker?
Actually, the first time I met Eddie Bunker was about 1962. My uncle was buying a robbery from him.
Buying a robbery?
Yeah, Eddie used to plan different robberies, and he would sell them to people that, that did robberies. And my uncle was an armed robber, and there's a scene in a movie called Straight Time.
Right.
Dustin Hoffman, where
Great movie.
Dustin Hoffman is actually going and buying a robbery from Eddie Bunker in a bar. Well, that same bar is where my uncle went in 1962 and bought the robbery, and he kind of said, well, who's going to be your backup? And my uncle said, my nephew.
Right.
So, and then he
How
pointed
old are
to
you
me.
at this time?
I don't know, about 18.
18? Wow.
19, so I don't know. Yeah, it was, growing up as a kid in Los Angeles, it's a typical American family. Mm-hmm. That was the first time. The next time I seen him, it was in San Quentin, and I think in 65.
So just 4 years later.
Yeah, and then when I met him. I ran into him on the movie set of Runaway Train in 1985.
Right.
And it was funny because I was clean and sober in 85, and I got out of the joint in 1969, and I'd been working as a drug counselor and working as in self-help groups and stuff. And
By that time, you had completely turned your life around.
And I got a call at 11 o'clock at night, and it was a kid that I'd been working with, and he said to please come down to his job and just support him, because 1985 cocaine was like running rampant in the United States and all over really, and especially on movie sets. It was like ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
So he gave me an address to a warehouse in downtown LA. So I thought he worked in a warehouse, and I thought we were going to go to the parking lot and drink coffee and smoke cigarettes on his break, and then after his break he was going to go in and everybody was going to think I was his lover, and and it wasn't. It was a movie set of Runaway Train.
Right.
I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. All these people were dressed like convicts and trying to be hard. All their tattoos smeared. That's all I remember. Like, oh shit! I'm sorry, man. This guy had a beautiful eagle on his back, and I kept looking at it and saying, "Oh man, you better get some better ink, buddy." And so we were hanging out. He was a PA, which is a production assistant, and we were just like hanging out. And this guy comes up and says, "Hey, do you want to be in this movie?" And I said, "What do I got to do?" He said, "Do you want to be an extra?" I said, "Extra what?" I didn't know what he was talking about. He says, "Can you act like a convict?" And when he said that, I swear, it was almost like this is your life, like everybody's gonna come. And I said, "I'll give it a shot," And I've been in every penitentiary in the state of California, so. They gave me a blue shirt, and I took off my shirt. I have that big tattoo on my chest, and I'll never forget this guy goes, "Wait a minute." I'm trying to figure out what gang is that? You know? And he said, leave your shirt off. And then, this guy comes over. And I know this guy. And I go, he's this Trejo. And I says, Eddie Bunker, what are you doing here? He says, I adapted the screenplay. I didn't know what that meant. But he changed a lot of the stuff in the film, and they had hired him, and by this time he was a well-known writer, and so he said, Danny, are you still boxing? Because he saw me win the lightweight and the welterweight title up in San Quentin, and I said, I'm training, man. I'm 38 years old. I don't fight no more. And he said, we need somebody to train one of the actors how to box. And I said, what's it pay? Because they were going to give me $50 for acting like a convict. So he says, $320 a day. I said, how bad you want this guy beat up? I'd have done it for another $50, And he goes, no, you got to be careful. This actor's really, high-strung kid, man. He's already socked a couple of people. And I said, okay, I'll train him, but you got to tell him that, for $320 he can hit me with a stick if he wants. I couldn't believe it, and I started training an actor named Eric Roberts how to box for the movie Runaway Train, and the director saw me, and Eric was a movie star,
right, and especially in '85, he was big.
In '85, and movie stars do whatever they want to do, you know what I mean, and so him and the director didn't really, see eye to eye, I guess. But Eric would do whatever I told him to do because he wanted to learn how to fight. So the director saw that, and he said, "You be in movie. You fight Eric in movie." He's a Russian aristocrat named Andrei Kozlowski, who was really an aristocrat. His grandfather wrote like the Russian national anthem or something. I don't know.
Jeez.
His father had pictures hanging in the Louvre. I thought the Louvre was the bathroom. The thing in Paris, the Louvre, it's a bathroom.
Right.
But he was. He says, you fight Eric, and everybody started screaming, "He's not SAG, he's not SAG." I don't know what they're talking about. I have no idea what they're talking about. And then he says, "Make him SAG," and leaned over and kissed me on one cheek and kissed me on the other cheek and walked away. And I told Eddie, "Look, Eddie, I'm going to train the kid for $320, but if I want to be kissing that old man, I want some more money." No, he's European. So me and Andre became very, very good friends. We kiss.
I've always wanted to know more about the tattoo on your chest because for a lot of years, even in that first role, that was kind of like your signature. Who is that lady on your chest?
It was just a picture that we drew, me and a guy named Harry Super Jew Ross. And we were in San Quentin, and I wanted another tattoo, so he came with this. We drew this picture. Yeah. And it was it was his first tattoo, so.
Holy cow.
I wasn't going anywhere. So we started it in San Quentin, and then I got thrown out of San Quentin. I got sent to Folsom, and he had it half done. And so he had the outlines. Don't let anybody, it was kind of a scene from West Side Story. Don't let anybody touch that tattoo. I won't.
No matter what occurs.
I was on the bus. He was on the dock.
Right.
So about 6 months later, he got to Folsom, and we did some more of it, and then there's a big riot in Folsom, and they sent everybody everywhere. I got sent to Soledad, and he was almost done, and he wanted to finish it, so I got sent to Soledad, and he went to Vacaville, and then about 6 months later, he came to Soledad, and we finished it. And actually, it was his first tattoo, so he became a really great tattoo artist. So he hated it. Like your first drawing when you're doing art. He hated it, and it made him famous. Don't show that to me. Shut up.
Does she have a name?
Ah, God, whoever I'm with.
Oh, okay. There you go. Nice. Nice.
It's you, honey. Really, it's you.
I've got one more before I kind of open it up for some questions here. I've always been curious about your role in The Hidden, which was right around that same time. But I don't remember seeing you in that movie. I just remember hearing your voice.
Yo, hippie, what kind of dude are you? I mean, I heard that so many times. It was a movie that was a sleeper, that just one of those little movies that is still being showed. You know, and
That's a great, great film.
great movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's low budget, and they wrecked about 3 Ferraris. But they have one Ferrari that is like brand new, gorgeous, and then they have 4 that are like already wrecks. You know,
Right.
they don't even have an engine. You know, so, but it's movie making, and all I am is in a jail cell. And it was funny that movie. I heard, yo, hippie, what kind of dude are you? Because the director told me, Danny, yell something at the alien.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what the hell you yell at an alien? But, yo, hippie, what kind of dude are you? And then he shoots me. You know? I guess he wasn't a hippie. You know. So.
All right, let's open it up for some questions real quick here. Who's got some questions for Mr. Trejo? All right, way back there. You're going to have to yell it out, and I'll repeat it. Yeah, you.
Mr. Trejo, you did Heat, you did Con Air,
Yeah.
right? When you compare movies like that, you know, is one more appealing to you than the other, or is it all just work? Is it just another role?
It's kind of work, you know. It's kind of work. I had to, in order not to be seduced by the I guess the glamour or whatever of the film industry, you got to kind of like just, it's work. It's like a painter, a plumber, a carpenter. That's what I do, you know. And so I don't really, you know, my agency chooses roles for, they don't choose them. They hand me like 3 and say, you know, which one do you want to do, you know, and you know, which one pays the most, and and where am I going, you know, so those kinds of things. And then, but Heat was just, you know, God, man, that was like such a great movie. And then getting to work with Robert De Niro. When my son met Robert De Niro, he was like 9 years old, you know, and I had him on the set, and I says, Gilbert, this is Robert De Niro. Hey, Bob, this is my son, Gilbert. And Robert goes, hi, Gilbert. Swear to God, my son goes, you talking to me? You talking to me? He must be talking to me. He was 9 years old, and we were both. I said, Gilbert, you didn't see that movie. You know? He seen From Dusk to Dawn, but Taxi was a little. He goes, Dad, the Comedy Channel. You know, so that's what and him and Robert became very, very good friends. You know, so. But and then Con Air. Con Air, you have to be careful with movies like Con Air because it's the biggest test in testosterone there is. You know, it's like, and they had every wannabe tough guy in Hollywood on that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And so everything was it's like I'm not a good sport. You know what I mean? And everybody on that movie is like, if you spit, somebody would spit a little further, and then you got, it's like, you know, you did a push-up, everything, you know. And so it was like me and a guy named Benny Urquidez, who was a 3-time world kickboxing champion, 5-time world kickboxing champion, just unbelievable. He would, every lunch, he would like grab me and get me and go and we'd go to the dojo and sit by ourselves because, you know, I don't play well with others. So, but it was, you know, it was a great movie. I mean, it was an unbelievable movie.
I'm trying to remember, you worked with Buscemi in that one. Had you already done Animal Factory at that point?
No.
Okay.
I actually gave Steve Buscemi because Eddie had shopped Animal Factory and we couldn't get anything done with it.
Right.
So he says, here, Danny, see what you can do. Okay, so I took the movie Animal Factory and I gave it to Steve, and I said, here, Steve, read this or I'll kill you. And in an interview, it was so funny. He said that. He said, yeah, so Trejo gave me this movie, and he said,
Right.
read it or he'd kill me. And then the narrator said, "What'd you do?" He said, "I read it." Like,
I'm
really
still sitting
funny.
here. Yeah.
And so he read it, and he says, Danny, there's really nothing in this for me, you know, and because he couldn't play the young kid. And he couldn't play.
Right.
And I said, no, Steve, we want you to direct it. And he got really excited. Oh, wow, yeah, I'll direct it. And so the minute he directed it, then
Miramax?
the star, my God.
Furlong?
No, that's one of them. God, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and I can't remember his name.
Give me a hint.
The green guy in Spider-Man. Willem Dafoe. God, thank you. I'm sorry, William. I'm sorry, Willem. I'm sorry. Great William, but he's
It's
a
still
friend of
early.
mine too. But
Still
sometimes you just drop blank. You know? Yeah, and he was amazing in that. If you ever want to see some of Willem Dafoe's best work, you check out Animal Factory. It's a great movie.
Yeah, that was terrific. Yeah, the you going toe-to-toe with Malkovich in Con Air was definitely a highlight of that film.
That was Malkovich is funny. God, he is so funny. And then his humor is sick as hell. I remember he says, Danny, what is the, because he's very proper, what is the word for rape in Spanish? And just joking, I said, amor. He thought it was the funniest thing he ever heard. I said, come on, man, it wasn't that funny, homie. That was funny. But there is no word. It's violate.
Right.
Violación.
So 85, you get into movies. Now, what's that like for you as far as like, when do you finally realize I am now a movie star? I'm an actor. And do you then go out and start taking acting classes, or are you just you?
I just, it was the first 5 years of my career, I'm still a drug counselor. I still work for Western Pacific Rehab, and I still do all the rehab stuff. You know, it's my passion is talking to young people that are in trouble. And but I played inmate number 1 for the first 5 years of my career.
Right.
You know, I didn't know I had a career. I was making a lot of money. It was inmate number 1 and bad guy number 1, guy with tattoo. And so it was funny because the first time I was ever interviewed, this young lady just fresh out of I guess interview school. I don't know. Danny, aren't you afraid you're being stereotyped and typecast? I didn't know what she was talking about. I said, I don't know what do you mean? She says, well, you're always playing the mean Chicano dude with tattoos. And I thought about it. I said, I am the mean Chicano dude with tattoos. Okay, somebody finally got it right. They're not putting brown paint on Brad Pitt. So so I didn't. My first 5 years, I never even had a name. The first name I ever had in the movies was Art Sanella in Death Wish 4 with Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And then after that, I did a movie called Against the Wall. And then it kind of took off, blood in, blood out, and then we started getting names.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever saw you was in Marked for Death.
Yeah, it was Steven Seagal.
Yeah, that was great.
He's all right. Yeah, me and Steve, I pulled him in on Machete.
Ah, yeah.
And he was really good at that, and I killed him. First time he ever died on screen.
So it's 1995. That's when you met Robert Rodriguez? Or had you met him before that?
Before Desperado.
Okay.
And I walked into his office to cast for Desperado, and he said, you remind me of the bad guys in my high school. And I said, I am the bad guys in your high school. He just hit it off, and he handed me a knife, and I started twirling it.
Oh, nice.
That's what we just did. I dropped it a couple times, picked it up. He says, okay, well, my agent, Gloria, said, what did he say? I said, I don't know. He gave me a knife. And I don't know if he's handing everybody knives, but
Right.
but so and then we got it, and I went to Texas, and we're there. All my family comes down and to visit me and buy booze. And
You gotta have your priorities.
and my uncle says, "Who's that?" And my uncle Rudy, and he says, "I says that's Robert Rodriguez, the director." And my uncle is like an older, Mexican guy, kind of old, kind of gangster. Hey, calls Robert. It's the director. And Robert, young, he knows. The old guy called him. He comes over. They start talking, and then my uncle says, "Hey, say hi to your cousin." So Robert, we ended up second cousins, So
Oh, wow.
I said, "Okay, let's make that limo part a little bigger, Robert." And we've done we've done about 13 movies.
Yeah.
He has a TV station right now that I'm kind of the face of, El Rey Network, and
Right.
Also we're doing From Dusk to Dawn,
Right.
the TV series, which is awesome, And then we're going to do something with Machete on that network, I think. So,
Oh, wow.
so that'll be like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And let's open up with another question. Yes, over here, sir.
Oh, God.
Machete in space, huh?
I think we want to try starting something before the end of this year. Seeing we don't know how we're going to do it, but that was, God, that was an amazing. You know what? I got to tell you, I would have loved that movie even if I wasn't in it. That's my kind of movie, man. God, when Robert said, "Okay, you're going to kill about 14 people the first 3 minutes of this movie," that's my kind of film. I'm sorry. Don't take me to a drama, whatever you do, 'cause I'll get us thrown out of the. My kids hated to go. Hi. So, but I love action movies.
But you have been in Shakespeare. You were in
Yeah.
a version of Richard III.
Yeah, that was. I've never seen that. I want to see it. And then also I did a drama movie called Sherry Baby, that with Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go all over the world with that movie, and I hated it. Well, I didn't. It was just I was like the good guys. The first time I ever played the good guy, the guy that after she'd been just abused and used, and I was the guy that helped her, and so it was kind of like I kept making up scenes like I'm banging on a motel door, and I told one of the stunt guys the next door, open the door and say, "Hey, hold it down, and we'll fight."
Trying to throw some action in there, huh?
No, Lori Collier was the director. "No, Danny." Come on, here's a little flavor.
Yes, sir, you here.
The Trejos Taco.
Oh, that's a restaurant that I'm opening up probably the end of September. Wow. It's going to open up right on La Brea between Pico and Olympic in Los Angeles. And then we're opening up right now. We've got a deal for about 5 of them, so we're going to try to put them all over. It's going to be a lot of fun. Awesome.
Yeah, I got to.
Mary, let's tell Ash. Ash is the guy in charge of the restaurant, so we're like.
I got to tell you, I was very surprised when my wife got her AARP magazine, and I opened it up, and there's a picture of Danny Trejo and his dogs, and Danny sitting on this huge chopper. Have you seen this? This is great.
Wow, this is cool. My dog, look, I have this is a pit bull. Okay, this dog, I don't know what the hell he is, but we call him John Wesley Hardy. Beats the shit out of the pit bull, right? Then that's nothing. We have a little Chihuahua, okay, that chases them both. So everything's backwards at the house. But I have about 5 dogs, and I'm a big animal rescue advocate, and I just love dogs. They're like just so cool, and they're really our responsibility because they were all happy running around naked, shitting anywhere, and we brought them into our camp, domesticated.
Let's get another question from the crowd. Way back there. Yes, sir.
Hi there, Tortuga.
Hey.
Still gonna offer you a copy of the bust of your head?
Yeah, you know what? There's a couple running around here that people are sending me. That was a fun. Actually, I remember my agent calling me and says, "Danny, you want to do one of Hollywood's first?" And I said, "What? cross the desert on a tortoise. I said, boy, it must be a pretty big tortoise.
Wow.
No, well, it's just your head. I just thought it'd be so. That was, it was actually and so that episode did so well that we did like, they called me back in like 3 weeks or something. We did the prequel, so that was great. Yeah.
There's a question over here. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you were going to do a show for Machete. Is that going to be on Netflix as well?
I'm not sure. I know the El Rey Network is thinking about doing something, which is Robert's network. You know, Robert Rodriguez has his own network, and it's really kind of I really enjoy watching that stuff. A lot of old movies, a lot of old.
Yeah.
Whoa!
You can't see Dolomite anyplace else other than there, you know. That's great. How many times have you died in the movies? Because, like,
I don't know, but I got even in Machete. Yeah, and I got the kids Jessica Alba and
nice.
And I kept messing that one up. Sorry, Robert, you know. And then it's funny. I had a love scene with Amber Heard in Machete Kills. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of you know Amber Heard. She's just go to hell gorgeous. This beautiful girl, right? And her husband Johnny Depp. She's pretty, but it was funny because we had this love scene, and so Robert yelled, "Action!" and "Action!" and then, Amber, why are you laughing? Because Danny won't stop saying, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus." So we had a lot of fun. You know,
Let's take another question. Yes, sir, right down here.
I was just wondering what it was like working with Gina Carano. Like, did she teach you?
I couldn't hear you.
Gina Carano.
Did she teach you any MMA moves?
We did that in Puerto Rico. How was it? Wow, awesome. but I'm a big MMA fan anyway, but she's really, when you work with like professional fighters and you have a fight scene with them or something, it's really easy because they know what they're doing. Right. When you work with an actor and you got a fight scene, a lot of times you're in trouble. Okay, well, put up your left hand. No, your other left, you know. But usually they know what they're doing, and so it was like really a lot of fun, and she's absolutely gorgeous anyway. Are you?
I feel like the real Machete can get that and get all the girls.
Machete gets the girls.
Machete he kills the bad guys and gets the women.
Where's my wife and daughter?
That's so me. That's so me right there. And it's funny. It's a lot of the people I stay in touch with them all the time. And when we did Little Carmen from Alexa Vega from Spy Kids, mm-hmm. She was screaming at Robert, "Come on, Robert, give me a job. I want to be in Machete Kills." And Robert says, "Alexa, it's a grown-up movie." I'm 25 years old, Robert. You know, but we still think of her as being 12.
Right.
You know, and so when she comes out in her outfit and says, "Uncle Danny, look what I'm wearing," and go like on me and two of my, "Oh my God, don't go!" And she had to be up against, Michelle Rodriguez, Sofia Vergara, Amber Heard, and she nailed it. I mean, she was wow, she was awesome, man, and really, really good friend. Now she's going to be on Dancing with the Stars, her and her husband. I think it's the first time that they've ever done that. You know, her and her husband are going to be on Dancing with the Stars, so that's kind of cool. There's a question over there.
Yeah.
What was it like working with Nicolas Cage and Con Air?
That was cool. Nick was cool. It was funny. If you want to see Con Air, when next time you look at it, when we all just crashed the plane and land the plane and Malkovich says, "Muchacho, go to the tower." Well, I was 165 pounds when I was supposed to have ran to the tower. It was supposed to be an hour and 45 minutes in movie time, but in real life, it was about 3 weeks.
Right.
You know, and I was in the desert. We were in the desert in Wendover, Utah, and the only cool place on the set was the workout trailer. So every day I'd go to the set and I'd be on hold, so I just work out. You know? So if you look, when I yell, "We got company," I was almost 180 pounds. So everybody was yelling, "Wow, what was in that trailer?" And they didn't really want me to take off my shirt, but come on, it's like I'm
Right,
buffed. And so I was, "Hey, we got company." I started waving my shirt, you know. So it looks really funny.
Got one back here? Yes.
First of all, 46-ish years sober.
Oh, yeah, 47. Yeah, thank you.
What was your most memorable location ever filming in the world and why?
You know what? I got to tell you, it's not just because I'm here, but I was in Prince George, Canada. And it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It was like unbelievable. And me and this girl, we had rented a car, we were going up a road. I just never forget, we're going up a road. And all of a sudden, you know, mooses, they look big like on TV. But in real life, these things are huge. And it's in the middle of the road, and women sometimes say the dumbest thing. She goes, "Shoo it. Shoo it." I'm not trying to be funny, but have you ever seen a moose? They're this tall at the shoulders.
Right.
Like, and this guy's got a head. And I said, "Shoo it my ass." I'm not even gonna honk at it. We will sit here till it moves. You know? And he just looked at it and walked. And we just take your time, Holmes. You know, yeah, it was massive, but it was really a beautiful, beautiful spot. And first time I'd ever seen like a righteous whiteout. I mean, just snow so much that you couldn't like see. You know, I'd never seen that, and it was like beautiful. But we did a movie called Reindeer Games up there with Ben Affleck. It was a lot of fun. And Charlize Theron. I love teasing her because she had on like a little short skirt and nylon stockings and high heels, and we had on, you know, regular clothes and a parka and stuff. And I would love standing by her all the time going, "Oh, they're treating us actors so bad, aren't they? Get away from me, Jenny." With her little nylon, she's a trooper.
What was that like working with Frankenheimer on that one?
He's awesome. I've known John for a long time. That's who I did Against the Wall with, was John Frankenheimer. So, and he was like a yeller. "God damn it, this is my shit!" You know? And I'd always set him up because he had friends that would show up on the set, and he did not allow pictures. You know, he just didn't allow pictures. And his friends, I seen all his friends with cameras, you know, so I said, "Hi, yeah, would you like to take a picture?" And, "Sure, oh yeah." And and "Who's taking pictures?" "Your friends." God,
This went way all the way in the back.
You worked with so many great actors. Is there one that you haven't that you want to?
Who would you like to work with?
Any of the gorgeous women that I've worked with before. You know, just give me who you got. I don't care. You know, it's like they all treat me pretty good, and we all get along. So, I just enjoy the work. You know, I just finished a film called The Ridiculous Six with Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
God, he's funny, man. He's funny. You know? And so we had a blast there. And it's funny because my little cousin's, he's done 36 years in the pen straight, right? And he calls me. So I was on the set, and I was talking to him from Ironwood Penitentiary, and he says, I says, "Hey, yeah, I'm working with Adam Sandler. Oh, I like that guy, man." Adam did a Big Daddy, or I forget what it was, something about a little kid. And so
Big Daddy.
Gil was telling me about. So I said, "Wait, Adam, come here. Hey, come here." Like Adam came out and says, "Here." So he starts talking to my cousin, right? And, oh, yeah. Oh, 36? Yeah, I did 36 years. I know the comedy, and I'm here, and I might get out, and guys, sure wanted me. Okay, and so gives me back the phone, and I said, Adam, he'll do anything I ask him. I want to be in your next 2 movies. Okay. So he's a good guy. There's a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Danny. I love your machete character, but I just love the knife-throwing wielding character from Desperado.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you, who is the toughest son of a bitch that you fought on screen and off screen?
Well, you know what?
Acting-wise? Not real-life-wise.
I'll tell you. You know what? It's like all the actors that like know karate and know karate and know boxing and know all that crap. They kind of shut up when you mention Chuck Norris. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because Chuck, I did a couple of episodes of what was it? Walker, Texas Ranger, and he was awesome. And then I did a movie a long time ago called Maniac Cop 3.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in that. And I'm looking, the first time I ever seen him, met him, he's not like a real big guy, and his shoulders are this big. And I'm like, because he fought as a lightweight, so that's 137 pounds. So I'm looking at him, I'm not bad with him. I can sling him, and I'm looking at him, and him and his dojo guy are training, and all of a sudden this guy jumps up, spins around, hits this bag, and the sensei goes, it's a little slow. Mr. Walker, could I have a Chuck? Could I please have an autograph? So he's like the real deal. I would say he's probably.
Guy back here I missed before with the yeah.
Just wondering, what was it like to work with Rob Zombie, and what was your favorite movie that you were in?
Rob Zombie is like awesome. I love Rob. He's like he's just cool, and he's a perfect leftover from the 60s, 50s, 70s that just hasn't come out. He's still there, but he's so cool. He does such great movies, and one of my favorite movies, I did a movie called Blood In, Blood Out a long time ago, and it was kind of first movie ever. I've always loved it because they they portrayed the 3 Hispanic kids, and they didn't just show them all as being bad. One's a cop, one's an artist, and one's a leader of a gang. But it was I just love the story, and it was a Taylor Hackford. So he was cool.
Yeah.
No, there was somebody right here. Yeah.
Hi, I'm a super huge fan, and so is my brother. We've watched you since we were like this little. It's probably not a good thing considering Pioneer, my question is similar is, what's the most fun you've ever had on a movie set and why?
Well, I would have to say when I was doing Spy Kids, that was like the most fun of all. It was like amazing, and working with Daryl and Alexa there's unbelievable kids, and everybody that talks about Hollywood kids, it has nothing to do with the industry. What it has to do with is the guidance that they're getting. And that's all. That's just all. Because Alexa was like a little movie star, but the minute the director would say cut, she would go get one of her little brothers, sisters, and it would be her turn to hold the baby. And I watched her mom, and her mom was like, was on her. And then I was with Daryl one time, and Daryl was wow. Everybody from Spy Kids and knew him, and we were walking with his brother, and he comes to me and he says, Danny, stick with my brother, okay? Because I don't want him to feel bad. And I thought, wow, that was cool. So me and his brother hung out, and all the little kids were running into Daryl, So he would introduce his brother right away. Any other question?
Hey, I just want to know a little bit more about your drug counts. Like, what do you tell
let me let me say this. One of the tough things about talking to kids is, first of all, you have to get their attention, which is impossible because they have none. You know? And then you got to keep their attention, which is impossible because of number one, they have none. You know? And then you have to show them that you're cool, and that's impossible because if you're 10 years older than them, you're just not cool. You lose your cool at 10 years older, you know. Right. And then if you're, and then you deliver your message. My message is, you know, stay away from drugs and alcohol, and education is the key to anything you want to do. Well, anybody can deliver that message except for 1, 2, and 3. You see, that's all. Well, the gift that I've been given is that the minute I walk onto a campus, I have their attention. Not Danny Trejo per se, but the guy from Spy Kids, the guy from Dusk to Dawn, the guy from Con Air, the guy from Heat. That guy has their attention. Right. Machete got their attention like that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, so it's easy. I mean, I've had principals and teachers come up and say, you know what? You've got all the kids in here that don't even come to these assemblies. And it's like, I'm under no illusion that it's just Danny Trejo. It's all them people combined. And so they tend to listen. You know, they tend to listen. And especially somebody that says, hey, this is people always ask me, you know, is weed a gateway drug? I don't know. I just know that everybody that I knew in the penitentiary that was doing hard drugs started with weed. But doesn't mean that you might, or you know, but I don't know. But that's just a fact. Right. And that's all I tell them is facts. You know, facts are you break the laws, you get in trouble. And when they're listening, they hear it. Mm-hmm. The biggest problem is 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. How often you get people now walking up to you and giving you Snickers bars?
All the time. That was funny. Hey, Danny, you know, because a Super Bowl commercial is like a holy grail to an actor. It's unbelievable. More people watch the Super Bowl than the Oscars, you know, and more people watch the Super Bowl than any. Even people that don't like football watch the Super Bowl to see the commercial. So, when she said, Danny, we've got a Super Bowl commercial, I thought, wow, you just hit the roof. Oh, awesome. She goes, one problem. I said, what? She says, you're going to be Marsha Brady. I says, what? You know, and then she told me what they were going to pay me. Oh, Marsha. I'll be that girl.
Did you have to put on the dress and all that? Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Were you ever approached to do any of the Expendable movies?
You know what? I talked to Sly, and he said, yeah. They even had posters of me on the Expendables. You know, but then you know, okay, it's okay. Mm-hmm. So, and then Robert Rodriguez says, you can't be in the Expendables. Why? He says, because Machete's not expendable. Oh, somebody right here.
First off, what was the most difficult film you ever worked on? And also, can we see your tattoo?
What was the most difficult?
Film you ever worked on?
You know what? I did a film while I was doing Machete called Predator. And we did it in Hilo, Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And Hilo, Hawaii is basically a live volcano. And it's all volcanic rock, the whole thing. So everything grows on top, and it's muddy and it's rainy. So everybody was falling and slipping, and it's you know, bad for the actors. But think about all the guys carrying all the equipment, you know, and they were all fall. Everybody had busted up knees. My stunt guy, Norm, right, Mora. Every morning he would put elbow pads and knee pads on me. You know what I mean? And I'm the only one that didn't have like busted up knees, and because actors get like real, you know, oh no, that'll ruin my look. You know, I'd rather ruin my look than my knee. You know?
Do you have any plans on
I'd love to. I know they're starting to do a lot more up here, and I've done quite a bit of stuff in Vancouver, so I'd love to see what comes down. There's somebody way over here. Go ahead.
What was it like being Muppets Most Wanted?
That was awesome. That was so awesome. That was God. That was so. While I was doing the Muppets, it's kind of a sad story, but it's really funny. But I don't know. My mom passed away while I was doing the Muppets. I was in England, and my beautiful son Gilbert. It was his birthday was March 8th, and he called me on his birthday. I called him and I said, "Hey, Gil, what's up? What are you doing?" And he had went and picked up my mom on his birthday and took her to breakfast, and so I was talking to my mom for about 20 minutes, and blah blah blah. We talked and all right, Mom, I'm cool, and so wished Gilbert a happy birthday, and then my mom passed away on the 12th. So if Gilbert hadn't have picked her up, I wouldn't have been able to talk to her. So we talked, and she passed away. I was getting ready to come back, and my secretary Mary said, "No, don't. We took care of everything. We got everything taken care of. Don't worry, man. Finish your job. Just finish. You'll just be in the way, And so my assistants, everybody took care of everything, I finished the movie, and when my dad passed away, I just froze up. I just stuffed it, all of it, and just took care of my mom and took care of all the business. My mom passed away. I just stopped. And everybody would come up and go, "Danny or Ruth, it's all right. It's cool. It's okay." And I could see my mom going, "Screw you. There's no way you're going to be that way with me." And I was just really hard. And then all of a sudden, the guy with Kermit came up. And Kermit, because those puppet guys, they won't talk to you if they got the puppet. It's like the puppet will talk.
Oh, yeah.
And Kermit goes, "I'm really sorry, Roger, Mommy, Daddy." And he goes like this. I ran to the bathroom. Kermit followed me, and we stood in the bathroom. She was the one, you don't understand, Kermit. She wrote to me all the time. I was in prison. The guy with the puppet didn't know what to do. But yeah, that was so Mom's got to me like always.
All right, everybody, let's give it up for Mr. Trejo.
Thank you. And I want to invite you all to the grand opening of Trejos Tacos. I know when it's going to be. I think the end of September. Thank you.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Sean.
And I'm Victor.
And you're watching Two Geeks TV. Don't forget to like what you see here and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Instagram.
And follow us on Twitter.
And remember to keep on geeking on.